Good.
All right.
Edmond Tarverdyan. Thank you so much for making the time. We were talking about how I met with George. Was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
Two,
Yeah,
3 weeks ago, yeah. Something like that. And we talked about you, and we talked about the history of martial arts in Glendale and your contribution. And when I first moved to LA, like actually your gym, GFC on brand, was the first group class I taught. You know, for first when I first met you, you're like, oh, I don't know who you are. Like you had trust, and then you found out like I was married to Armenian, and you're like, okay,
and fighting in the UFC.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And you cornered me, and a lot of like
great times.
Yeah,
great times.
And just one of the things that I appreciated about you is just the years of just helping others, you know, in the Armenian community and fighters, different fighters, from boxing to Muay Thai to kickboxing, MMA, mixed martial arts.
Yes.
Of course, Ronda Rousey later on, you know, but just the years before that, right?
Yes. What year was that, Alberto? The Roger Huerta fight?
Man, it was 2007.
2007.
Yeah, because my son was born 2007, so I just moved out here. I wasn't sure. You went to New Mexico with me, remember
Mexico,
that?
Yes, that was fun. We had a great time. I loved everything you had over there. The gyms, you showed me your gyms. We stayed, got good training in.
Yeah.
Very fun times.
Trying to figure out this the MMA thing. I was in New Mexico, and we had a like Greg Jackson, those guys, you know, they had a good camp, you know, good place, high altitude, right? Training.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
The running, all in the mountains.
Yeah.
Blast. We had a blast. Great times. Times.
You were born in Armenia or?
Armenia. Yeah, Kirovakan, Armenia in 1981, and then moved to the States in 1989.
89. So you're like 8 years old.
Yeah, elementary and then high school, middle school and then high school. Graduated here and I was teaching already when I was in high school, so just no college. I just, kept on
How old were you when you first started teaching?
16 years old.
16,
yes. Long time already. It's like 26 years.
Yeah. And how did you start in martial arts?
So back at home, everybody did martial arts. You know, in Armenia, they collected Bruce Lee pictures and just loved martial arts. So I did it a little bit. My uncles were in it a little bit. Soccer, boxing. My uncle was a good fighter from Iran, actually, and moved to Armenia. And, he loved boxing and wanted us to get into boxing, me and my older brother. Then when we came to the United States, just found a local gym. My cousin was going to, a local gym in Glendale and just started doing martial arts. Didn't really look into what style of martial arts I should do, anything. I just wanted to get, in there and just, learn the art. So I started with Wushu, Sansho. So it's, Chinese martial arts. And it was good because it's very difficult and it's everything like you learn the philosophy of it, and it has acrobatics in it. Like Wushu, like Talu, the forms are so difficult because it's like gymnastics, basically. It's like a performing art. And the fighting style is like takedowns with boxing, Chinese boxing with takedowns.
Right.
So it's very good because you learn your hands, you learn how to kick. And like Zabit in MMA in the UFC, that of course retired, but he was a great fighter. And like Kung Lee and those guys, yes, Sancho, Sanda. So I started with that, then just got into everything, any type of art style there was. It was very easy after Wushu to learn and adapt and compete, so competed in everything basically.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, well-rounded, striking arts, right?
Stand up. Yeah, it was very easy because you had the boxing. If I needed to just box, that was fine. Taekwondo, no problem. We could just kick, and then so everything just came natural. And Wushu, like the time you put into it, it's like work and time. That's what it means. Like Kung Fu, work and time. The time you put into, you have to put in a lot of time. Like the karate kata is like the Japanese style. I adapt and learn very easy because the forms are so basic, step punch, going forward, going left, right. But Wushu, you do one Taolu, like the form, Chanchuan or Nanchuan, like the southern style or the northern style. It's so much movement, jumping, flipping, acrobatics. So it was so much more challenging. And
like you're talking about katas. How do katas help you in fighting? What does it do?
So it's like basically it's like shadow boxing, right? In boxing, so you imagine the opponent is in front of you, and like a bonkai and kata. Now it's of course it was an Olympic event in Japan, the karate katas, and the bonkai is when you show the technique of what you're really doing. So it's like a imaginary fight, but you have to understand what you're doing. So all those movements you do, and the more years you do it, you start understanding the feeling, of course, your body, and you know how to fight the person in front of you, behind you, left and right. So in a fight, in a street fight, if one person attacks, yeah, if you know grappling, it's very good because you could, defend yourself. It's an amazing martial arts. But multiple people attacking you, karate, I think, is the best self-defense for multiple. And karate and wushu, all these katas teach you. You're attacking the person in front of you. Somebody comes from behind you, turn, and you right away. You have to move. Somebody on the left, you kick. Somebody on the right, left comes, sorry, you kick. Right comes, you kick. Behind comes, you kick. So as you learn to fight with multiple people, and that's what the kata is. But the good senseis or masters, whatever you want to call it, the people with experience teach you the kata, but the bonkai, which is the movement of you have to imagine and you have to perform like the block you do. The person's supposed to kick you, and you show that, so you understand what you're doing instead of just doing a kata. And then there's movements they do with their hands. Let's say some people think about it. They're like, "What is this person doing? Is he praying, or is it, like a religion, or is it what's the purpose?" And back in the days when they learned for the army for self-defense, this was like basically giving like a signal to my friends that the enemy is attacking. So with my hands, I'm giving a signal, and my friends already know that I'm going to attack moving forward or moving to the right, to the left. So that's where all it came from. And a lot of people don't know this. When you ask them, they might have a black belt. They're like, "What are you doing here?" They're going to be like, "I don't know," So it's that's why the real old school martial artists that have learned the proper way, I think, is very beneficial. But what
Tradition, right?
tradition,
History.
yes, history, and understanding what you're doing, and you have to practice. Besides understanding, you have to practice with multiple people attacking you, and you use the form that you used. And that, the more years you do it, it has sweeps, takedowns, it has ground control, standing up, back on your feet, fighting. That's why it was in the Olympics, in the Tokyo, and it's beautiful now when you watch karate, like, forms katas.